Welcome to Beacon of Creation, a weekly podcast on game design through the lens of Magic the Gathering. I'm Tim.
And I'm Peter, also known as Mono Whiteboarder.
You're back.
I'm back.
We're excited to have you back on the pod.
Feels good to be back.
I mentioned this idea on the our contributors channel. Plug for that if you want to be on an episode someday, get that contributors role. I mentioned that I wanted to talk about Marvel Jumpstart, and you said, put me in, coach.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just broad statement, just to get everyone excited. I think Marvel Jumpstart is the best Jumpstart I've ever played.
Can I one up you? Can I
Go
punch
ahead.
up? Marvel Jumpstart's the only good Jumpstart I've ever played.
We've seen a couple Jumpstart products now, some standalone Jumpstart, some Foundation Jumpstart. There's even an Avatar Jumpstart. And we've got this Marvel one, and this Marvel one has been really satisfying. I've probably done 20 decks in Marvel Jumpstart, and I really like it. It's just like a really chill way to play, super cheap on Arena. But yeah, I wanted to unpack Jumpstart. The other great thing about Jumpstart, and that like really puts it right in the core of the show, is that Jumpstart is also like a much more achievable goal to aim for than designing a whole set. Like designing the 12 cards that go in a Jumpstart pack is like an achievable amount of game design to do. You can design 12 cards in a couple hours if you wanted to. And then you could, paper that up, print that out or whatever, and give it a shot. And so I think like understanding Jumpstart, what would make for a kind of fun way to play Jumpstart is going to be also kind of important for understanding how to use Jumpstart in like a custom environment.
Beacon itself kind of has like a history with Jumpstart. We use Jumpstart Pass to test Castmeyer out. Juliet is like our resident Jumpstart expert, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Even like in some way, I feel like microsets are kind of Jumpstart adjacent.
Microsets are sort of like 45 card pack set things that you combine with other microsets to form an environment.
Yeah, it creates this like little sealed pool, and it's very similar in the fact that you're trying to think of ways to make a bunch of cards that do things and work together in a way that's interesting enough that you can play it, 4 or 5 times, maybe more.
So Jumpstart began, people were hypothesizing about something like Jumpstart because of an older board game called Smash Up, where you combine two half decks together, pirates plus ninjas or pirates plus dinosaurs, and then you fight this kind of like free-for-all area control game. People have been making something like this before, but then Wizards turned into a real product, the original Jumpstart product, which is just a 20-card pack, 12 regular cards, 8 lands, go. The legacy of the original Jumpstart to me, or at least the game store legacy of it, was that it was like too expensive to be a beginner product and not fun enough to be like an expert product for enfranchised players.
I would second that. I'd say that's fair. I think Arena has given Jumpstart a little bit of a second life because of the jump in style. I think it became a really easy way of like, oh, I haven't really been paying attention to this set, but there's a new set on Arena and I had to wait 10 minutes for my Arena client to update. So might as well look at some new cards, and jump in gives you a really easy in to just like getting to play with new stuff.
I haven't heard people talking about Jumpstart in paper very much. When the packs are like $5, $6, $7 and you got to buy 2 of them, it's like, I don't know. I kind of want to do a draft instead for that money. But I think Arena is the key there. Jumpstart is like my ultimate chill out Magic that is still fresh and new. It's like being able to draft without having to without having to lock in, without having to like take it seriously. You're just given 40 cards. Some of them kind of work together. What do I do about it?
If I want to play Magic and not particularly care whether I win or lose, Jumpstart's the way to go. I think that it also hits at some core feeling. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, long ago, that we're all trying to like, we're all craving and seeking this like original feeling you had when Magic, where you just played with crappy cards and you wanted to find your one bomb. And if you drew your bomb, it's like, wow, I feel so good this game. I really feel like I'm going to win. But it's really hard to recreate that when you're constructing your own decks, or even if in a draft environment you get so specialized. So Jumpstart kind of gives you that like pre-constructed feeling of this is just the cards I had laying around, but in a way that's like very changeable. Like it can be a new experience constantly.
Yeah, and that's if you're just trying to play a little Magic, either because you're trying to teach someone Magic or you're just trying to chill out. Jumpstart can really hit that. I think sometimes
Mm,
where it can miss, like I had a friend collect all the packs from the original Jumpstart and like store them separately and all that kind of stuff. And then we played it for a little while and it was like, I don't know, like the games weren't necessarily that spectacular and we could have done this much work and had like a draft format instead.
mhm.
To me, maybe I'm limiting the format. It's not really going to be that like I'm feeling really charged. I have the thrill of victory. Like I'm making like really powerful choices, or I'm the master of my own strategy here. It's never going to hit that, but it can deliver something that is just consistently very novel.
Yeah, I also think that one of the things that Jumpstart missed for me is
Mhm.
a lot of times it almost leaned too heavily into that randomness of like, you have to draw your bomb or else you and now I'm dead and I basically had no power in the situation, which
Mm.
is like the worst thing as a designer that you can have somebody experience is like none of your
Yeah,
choices mattered, nothing you did mattered. You could have just sat down and your opponent played out their hand and we could have all gone home and it would have been really easy.
I would sort of say that like early Jumpstart feels like playing early draft formats. Like if I'm playing
Mhm.
like I don't know Dragons of Tarkir draft or whatever, like that's sort of what I've signed up for. Is like a huge differentiation, and then not a lot of agency, not a lot of synergy, not a lot of stuff to shoot for. I think that part of the reason you do that is so that it's beginner friendly. That's like why we had core sets for so long, like the old core sets that were like no 2-for-1s allowed, all
Mhm.
just sort of like straight up cards. When you aim it too close to like this is for beginners, you get that kind of environment, which I think, yeah, who drew their rare? Or is the rare in my pack even good?
Oh yeah, like I drew my rare and I'm still gonna lose because this rare
It's absolute
doesn't do
trash.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a big creature with trample, and my opponent's rare is like dealing 50 damage or something absurd.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, or like here's a 6 mana setup enchantment. And it's like, oh, okay, great.
yeah. I think something that's so telling about previous jumpstarts is I literally can't remember anything about them.
Hmm.
I can't tell you a jumpstart card. I can't really tell you what made the formats unique or
Yeah.
different. They all just felt the exact same, and the way they felt was not fun or good. No, and I still
Yeah.
always tried them because they were so cheap. Like on Arena, they
Yeah.
are so beginner friendly just because it's so easy to enter.
There's some other things that they did on Arena that I think work pretty well, where they would basically create Jumpstart packs out of the retail sets, like a Bloomburrow Jumpstart, which was just
Mhm.
cards from Bloomburrow, just the 5 or 8 packs they could like carve out there, and then mix that into like a big hopper of other sets worth of Jumpstart stuff. So you could have a Dustborn pack and a Bloomburrow pack or whatever.
Mhm.
And there you'd at least like have intense enough synergy that you'd maybe do some fun things and pop off a little bit. Maybe your packs work together, maybe they didn't, but at least you're playing with like cool cards that were specific. Is for Marvel Jumpstart, they tried this kind of new thing where it's kind of like a draft event where you either win out or you lose out. But rather than like a draft, which is like, hey, get up to 7 wins before up to 3 losses, so you can go 7-0 or 0-3 or somewhere in between. Here it's you can get up to 2 wins or 3 losses. And that I think is like a cool way to make sure that like newer players can have a good time.
It's kind of nice because I think the original jump ins you just like kind of got to play until you did a new
Yeah.
deck.
Which I also kind of like.
I like it, but I also like that it's just like I have an endpoint. And this is maybe like a big picture design thought,
Yeah.
but like you should give your players an endpoint.
Uh,
For most games, people don't want an open-ended decision of like you can now go in or out. Like
hmm.
one, I can always leave. If my first game was so miserable I didn't like it, I can just opt out.
Hmm.
But how long should I play with my good deck is a tougher thing. And I
Yeah.
think it's also nice to get like a kind of decent reward. You get
Yeah, you get a rare just for entering. You get whatever's in your packs. You win at least one game, you used to get a second rare. If you win a second game, you get an extra uncommon. So they're
mm,
clearly just saying like, go 1 and 3. That is the intended path.
yeah.
One thing that I've really felt Arena can't do is teach new players how to draft, unless those people are willing to like sink a ton of money, I guess, because you can only go 1 and 3, 2 and 3 for so long before you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I've known a lot of players who kind of did draft for a little while on Arena and then just gave up because it was too discouraging. The spirit of Jumpstart is like, hey, check out this pack, do the cool thing once or twice, fail once or twice, and then get out of there,
Mhm.
which I think is a good fit for Jumpstart.
My question for you, Tim.
Yeah.
is are you, when you entered into this, are you like a Marvel fan?
Hmm.
Is Universes Beyond catering to you with the
Hmm.
Marvel superhero stuff? Are you big into the movies? Do you like the comic books? Are you a more just passing by?
I have read a lot of Marvel comics. I've probably read 1,000. I don't know, somewhere in there.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I know almost all the characters in this Jumpstart format. Some of them I definitely don't know, which is very fun. But like,
Mm.
hey, there's a team of Runaways. Well, I've read a bunch of the Runaways. There's the Young Avengers. Well, I've read Young Avengers. Even the second tier non MCU stuff, I am aware of these characters, which might honestly like have shaped why I like the Marvel Jumpstart so much. I'm not like a super fan. Like, I'm not wearing like a Marvel T-shirt right now. I'm not looking at Marvel posters or whatever. But I'm definitely very familiar with the characters.
I'm on the I would say I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I do have a small handful of comics that when there was a comic book store that opened in our town that also did like magic and board games and stuff. So
Mm, yeah,
I've bought like
classic.
probably 6 comics and enjoyed them. I've seen Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Mm.
I remember the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Oh, okay.
I tried rewatching that recently and it was unwatchable, truly unwatchable.
Yeah.
But like I don't do the TV shows, so like I don't really do any of the modern Marvel stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Though I think I think I'm gonna get back into the
You
Spider-Man
marathon
because
it? Oh,
me and
okay.
my girlfriend
Yeah.
watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans this weekend. I was like, oh
Okay.
my god, these are so good. And she was like, well, we gotta get you caught up to speed with the Andrew Garfield and the Tom Holland one. So
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
exception, I did watch WandaVision because Vision is my favorite. That was the one I bought comics of when I
Mm.
was a kid. I wanted the
Okay.
Vision comics, so that
Vision's one of my top guys for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
Vision's awesome, and I love the actor who plays Vision. So there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
Vision pack though. What's up with that?
Vision is one of the rares at least, but yeah, it's not named after him. Yeah. Vision, any kind of like intellectual characters, I guess the
Yeah,
characters
yeah.
that I like. Beast, give me Beast. I think Beast
Uh,
is maybe closer to who I actually am because Beast is a goofball and that's who I am, but
right.
maybe relate to Vision.
Hmm. Yeah, I like Vision. I like Bruce Banner, but I think that's partially because I like Mark Ruffalo.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
I've become partial to Mark Ruffalo as
Yeah. I
Bruce
didn't really
Banner.
care about Bruce before MCU. He was never a
Hmm.
big character. I mean, Iron Man, I didn't really care about back in the day either.
Hmm. And here's another thing: as someone who's going to law school, there's a lot of attorneys in like attorneys and
Yeah.
politicians and like legal adjacent people.
She-Hulk, Daredevil. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to we'll get into this. I got to play the like lawyer pack,
Okay.
and it was kind of awesome. Like I'm like, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god,
Yeah.
this felt
Yeah.
like specifically made for me. This is my
Yeah.
hole. It was made for me.
Yeah. We love She-Hulk in my house too. So
I did not watch the She-Hulk show, and then the
oh, okay.
cards made me want to watch the She-Hulk show. I'll say that much.
I'm a firm 2 thumbs up on the She-Hulk show. I'm not going to
I've heard
try
good
to
things.
convince you that it is good, but I'm two
Hmm.
thumbs up on it.
Perfect.
So what I wanted to try to do, just work through a list of like our sort of brainstorms of why we think the Marvel Jumpstart's like the most fun one, and
Mhm.
then hit up a bunch of packs and just talk about some cool things from those packs. One of them is that the themes of the packs are specific and have fun payoffs within them.
Mhm.
I think the mistake that a lot of other Jumpstart packs is that they are themed, like basically every Jumpstart pack is themed, but the payoff within the theme is not sufficient to be cool. If I want to just have 7 cats in a pack and those cats have no special synergy with each other, what am I doing here? Like, I mean, it's kind of cool to look at 7 cats, but there's not really a mechanical payoff. Whereas, like, I feel like I was cooking with some of these packs. Like, I'm doing something that I haven't done before in a limited game kind of stuff.
I think adjacent to that, something about Arena Jumpstart, and this is true of most of the Arena Jumpstarts that I play, is that when you get a pack, it has some sort of description. So, like the one I'm opened on is Fearless, and then there's always some sort of special card that they show. I think they usually show you the rare card in it. In this one, they'd show you like Daredevil Fearless Fighter. And he's, whenever a
Hmm.
source you control deals damage to Daredevil, it deals that much damage to an opponent. And whenever he attacks, you exile the top card and it deals damage equal to the card's mana value and you can play it. It's some rare that has some sort of build around element. And then all of the cards actually work towards that build around element. Like
Hmm.
they came up with a cool theme and then added cards to the pack that actually support that theme so that when
Mm.
you play your rare, you're actually going to be able to do the rare's thing. And I think that's
Yeah,
something that the
yeah,
older Jumpstarts missed on is like sometimes you'd see this cool rare and none of the pack would assist you in making
yeah,
anything that rare is doing actually happen. And I have not felt that frequently. I mean, maybe if maybe we'll get into it and I can think of one where I didn't feel like I could do what the rare wanted me to do, but every other pack, most of them I
yeah,
play, I feel like I can do it. And I feel like it's weird that sometimes the other pack you pair with it really does actually help you do it even better. I don't know how they manage that. I don't know if that's a
yeah,
happy accident, but
yeah.
it's pretty impressive.
We didn't mention up top, but Arena has another advantage over like typical paper jumpstart, which is that you look at three themes at the same time and pick which theme you want,
Mm,
and then you're presented with three more choices. So you have a little bit more agency over like, wait, this says the word discard on it, and this says the word connive on it. Oh, okay. And then you're able to like guess at a connection. If you want to get a little spiky and you want to try to have a cool, interesting combo, you have a chance of doing that.
mhm,
Doing that maybe requires a couple really broad themes to be in your set. Like for me, the other kind of pillar of the Marvel thing is that there's a couple mechanics. Basically, artifacts are in in many of the packs, and then the other one is connive. Connive is the mechanic. You pick if a creature connives, then you draw a card, discard a card. And if you discard a non-land card, they get a counter. Um, that has three really solid hooks in it: +1/+1 counters, draw two, and then also discard cards. That provides enough hooks that, like, if you're looking at three packs and looking at three more packs, you have a decent shot of matching those up. Um, and then I guess also connive is sort of a wonder mechanic to me because you also dig through your deck for the cool cards a little faster.
yeah.
And so that being so present in the set, it's meant as just like a villain mechanic, but I think it maybe even helps Jumpstart more than it helped the regular draft format.
Yeah, something else that really I feel like Jumpstart has benefited from that's a consequence of where current draft is going. I've noticed a trend that in like drafts now, making sure that you're maintaining good card flow is pretty important if you want to have a good draft deck. Like you're fairly likely to come up against an opponent who's gonna draw a few extra cards in a game, and,
Hmm.
and maybe you're gonna be empty-handed and your opponent still has like 3 or 4 cards in hand, which is not the way like very old school draft formats work, where you play out your hands and then you navigate a board stall and try and top deck. And I feel like that's helped Jumpstart a lot because I feel like I'm just drawing way more cards in Jumpstart. I mean, I picked the like colossal deck where it's like cares about creatures having power 4 or greater, and a ton of those cards just happen to say draw a card or draw a card, discard a card on them. Like
Hmm.
Ant-Man just attacks and draws me a card. So it's way you hit your land drops way more consistently, which is really important for especially for Jumpstart because the
Hmm.
worst thing that can happen is you draw your rare and don't have enough lands to play it. And then you also just have a way better chance of seeing one of your cool payoffs for all of the glue stuff that you're doing.
Another thing related to that they added to these packs was another cycle of basic land cyclers. So there's,
Mm,
I think, quite famously now in Marvel Draft, there's like a cycle of basic land cyclers in the regular draft, and that is like a one of the main things of the format is your ability to splash a lot and play these like commons that you can either cast or get a land for. And they add another cycle, many of which are removal spells. And I think that like having these like expensive, like one of them here, Fall to Earth, 4 and a white, exile target creature. Each player gains 3 life. Um, and then as basic land cycling. So this is like a removal spell that is like awkward enough and slow enough that it's like, if I want the land, this is an option. There's like a 4 mana counter spell that you can basic land cycle. Like
mhm.
you don't totally want this card, and it's not going to be good for a long time, and it might be you might just want to cast your 3 drop correctly.
The consistency is kind of another huge difference between the Marvel jump starts and the jump starts that were less successful is that
Hmm.
you play so many more actual games in Marvel Jumpstart. It's one of the things that I feel like I have missed most in recent limited, and both the limited environment for Marvel and the
Hmm.
Jumpstart environment both have successfully created these like combat matters and how I attack matters, and trying to find edges in combat is a big thing. And I think both of the Jumpstart and the Limited packs or the draft set, the draft mechanics, the draft, both Jumpstart and the drafting of Marvel have worked to make both of those kind of happen for me, where it's like I get these
Mm.
board stalls, I get these interesting combats, and I feel like that had been missing for like a long time.
I've been scrolling through these while you were talking, and I think maybe literally every pack has like either a basic land cycler or something that like cycles through a card, like a Future is Forged, enter the battlefield, draw a card, sack it to draw more cards. Like it seems like every pack has some sort of card. Maybe this is something you want to do in your 12 Jumpstart cards. It has something to help you get through your cards a little bit better.
Wow, that's really interesting. That is super neat.
I've looked at a lot of packs so far, and I haven't found a pack that doesn't have something that gives you card flow.
I think that could be a fun thing to do as a designer too, because Jumpstart packs are so traditionally monocolor. So you have to think, how does
Yeah.
black draw a card? How does green draw a card? How does white draw a
Yeah.
card? So that they
Yeah.
can, so that a Jumpstart pack can help get through its deck. That's pretty interesting. And you're slamming these together, so you're getting two of these draw effects, and sometimes they're recurring drawing. Like one of them, sack a creature, draw a card. So that can be some pretty serious card filtering.
Yeah. I that's another thing I started to think of as well is like your Jumpstart pack should have like two cards that can at least be kind of a low key engine. If you get cooking, you really feel like you're getting ahead. I think like having something to aspire for, like, oh, if I get online, this will really work. I don't know. Is part of that feeling that we're talking about of I'm gonna get some cards, I'm gonna do a cool thing twice, I'm gonna flop once or twice, and then I'm gonna get out of there. Like that's what we're trying to deliver here with Jumpstart.
It's kind of funny. You kind of pointed out looking through and noticing there's a card draw engine. It's making me start to wonder if there is some kind of skeleton they started to apply. It'd be fun to look back at the other
Yeah.
jump starts and see if they have the same structure. But a lot of these packs, mana values look pretty consistently the same, which makes
Mm.
sense because you want the packs to be playable. But I wonder if they maybe tapped into something where like we need this many 2 drops. You can only have 2 5 drops. Like.
Mm. Yeah, many of the packs don't have a 6-drop. Yeah.
And if they do have a 6 drop, it's like, it's 1 6 drop. That's it.
Yep.
You're not going
Yep.
any further than that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the other piece of why they were able to do that here is that there are actually plenty of cards specific to just this format. Maybe half the cards in the pack are specific to Jumpstart, something like that. Being able to mix, hey, these are things you'd see in the regular set with, hey, let's just design another 150 cards, guys. But it gives the packs like a little bit of novelty that you can't get anywhere else and that you actually kind of like because a lot of these like Jumpstart specific cards are also sick. One that have bumped into a bunch. Power Up is one of the mechanics in the main Marvel set where it's like basically like adapt or one of those mechanics monstrous where I could pay a bunch of mana and then the creature gets better. I get some sort of spell like effect. Power Up has an extra or it has an extra thing where if the creature entered this turn, you get to discount it. So you can sort of look at them as split cards. I can either play a 2-drop or a 7-drop, or I could pay a 2-drop and then pay 7 later and pay 9 total. And one of the cards that I remember seeing was this card, Quinjet Technician. 1 and a red for a 2/1. Already in a good spot. Great 2-drop. Tap to add a red. Hey, cool. It's a mana creature. Tap to add 2 red for power up abilities. And powering up 1 turn early is typically excellent.
Mhm.
I kind of wish this was limited because power up is not a functioning strategy in normal
Yeah.
Marvel Limited. If we could have had this Quinjet Technician in there, they knew how to design the card. They put it in this pack, but they didn't manage to get it into the regular draft format. So it's almost like a remix, like what the alchemy formats wish they could be.
Mhm.
Hey, let's remix some of the things that you liked about the main set and add a bunch of new cards. The original Jumpstart had a lot of chase rares to it, like just kind of expensive reprints that you'd kind of want to open, many of
Yeah.
which were not good draft or not good limited cards. So that contributed to like the feeling of like, oh man, I got like some 6 mana commander rare in my Jumpstart pack. Now I'm going to lose. I mean, I guess it's cool that I got a $2 card, but whatever. Whereas here, most of the rares get to be the exemplar for their pack. I am the
Mhm.
leader of this pack. If you do the thing that my leader card says, you're going to have a good time. You're only going to play 4 games anyhow. So do this cool thing, get out.
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of like Commander Precon of you kind of just get to see a thing that you like and want to do. And it's funny,
Hmm.
about 3 to 4 games is usually enough where most of the time you're going to get to draw your cool rare,
Hmm.
which is usually all you want to do. Is like you saw an interesting rare and you wanted to play that rare, and so you picked the Jumpstart pack. And once you get to do the thing, I mean, kind of speaks to a Johnny sensibility of like, I just want to do the thing once. I really don't care about winning. There's
Hmm.
not a great prize. I just would love to play, a Doomsday one time in a limited environment, which I'm sure you can talk about more, Tim, once we get
Yeah.
there.
This is a different product from Draft. We need to deliver a fun thing. Each pack needs to deliver a fun thing to shoot for. And we can kind of accept, because this is a less competitive format, that sometimes your draws will fizzle or sometimes your combination of packs will fizzle. But we need to make sure on the other end of that is something extra cool.
Mhm.
And I think that more often than not, the Marvel packs do that for me. Sometimes they totally are awesome. Like some of the decks that I've had in Jumpstart, when they do overlap a little, it's like, oh, I could win 6 games in a row with this deck. Like,
Mhm.
it's where you want to get. I don't know, having fun.
I'd be curious to hear what new players think of if
Hmm.
people who picked up Marvel for the first time, because I think a lot of the changes that we like, Tim, are changes that cater to a more advanced player who needs
Hmm.
just a little bit more
Yeah.
I would call it agency. I think in Marvel, I have agency in the
Yeah.
game.
These cycling cards, card filtering, like these are not things that necessarily excite a player. We just appreciate
Mhm.
it. Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
But one of the important things about Jumpstart is that a new player can pick it up
Yeah.
and kind of learn to play Magic.
Hmm.
Is that still accessible? Because I've
Yeah.
been in a lot
It's a
of
good
games
question.
where I can tell I'm playing a new player because they should
Yeah.
be swinging their entire board, but they're hesitating because
Yeah.
new players instinctively want to hold back blockers because they just don't know what to expect or don't know what might happen. And
Yeah.
so I'm able to kind of eke out wins because a new player has left the door open a little bit. And so do they
Hmm.
feel like they are actually getting hurt by this because the more experienced players can find a few edges that they don't necessarily recognize right away?
Yeah. The new player thing to me has kind of gone out the window with Commander being so central to the game.
Okay.
All of these Jumpstart packs are simpler than any Commander precon.
Mhm.
And we give those to beginners all the time. So
Right.
I, am I disagreeing with doing that? Not really. I mean, I think the precons are a little tuned up for beginners or a little too weird, and sometimes maybe they could shoot a little differently. But like, I think the conclusion that I've come to is that beginners will like when the game demonstrates how cool it is, rather than how the rules work.
Hmm.
If you don't have the aspect of showing you how cool it is, then what are you doing? That to me is the failure of the old core sets, where it's like these were the most vanilla cards. Like, I guess maybe in a pre-internet, pre-digital era, like we had to go extra easy on players because they were going to open some stuff by themselves or with their other 11-year-old friend, and they had to figure out how to play a game from basic principles or whatever. But like in today's sort of setup, I have a lot more room for giving players cool cards. All the packs are comprehensible; they're cohesive within
Mhm.
themselves. So I think they're firmly sub commander level.
I think one of the nice things about Jumpstart, and it's something I always talk about whenever I'm teaching someone to play Magic, is just
Yeah,
like I teach you how to play Magic, but the worst thing about Magic is it's a game that when you explain the correct way things work, you
yeah,
sound like you're cheating.
hmm,
When I explain, so it looks like your guy's going to win, but I'm actually going to do this at instant
yeah,
speed, and now my guy's going to win in combat. It sounds like I just cheated.
yeah. There's sort of the like, oh, in response to you targeting that raised dead in your graveyard, I'm going to exile that card. And it's like, what the hell, man?
Yep.
Like, yeah,
And
the stack continues to confound new players for sure.
yeah, because all of these are pre-constructed and pre-made, that takes
Mhm.
away some of the feeling in Commander, because Commander that's going to come up way more
Yeah, yeah,
because, oh, well, they just knew about these cool different cards that I don't know about. And I think the fact that this is all pre-constructed
yeah,
helps a little bit in and ease some of that pain,
yeah.
um, and make it a little bit more accessible.
I'm realizing I'm recording this podcast like 1 week early because I literally just got a bunch of Jumpstart packs to teach my coworkers how to play Magic. So I could have, I could have had an additional. Maybe I'll just try to put it on the Discord. There you go,
Mm,
Discord content. Join the Discord to hear about my
nice.
experiences teaching my coworkers. who are nerds who have played other games and have hesitated to learn Magic, but I'm testing out Jumpstart on them, so we'll see how
Mhm.
it goes. Interestingly, even though they are Marvel and Avatar fans, I said, "Well, what packs do you want?" They said, "Give us Classic." So we got some Foundation packs. We'll see how those go.
Oh, how interesting. That is neat.
Yeah, the universes beyond didn't appeal to them. They wanted give me some knights and some wizards. Yeah. All right. So how about we just talk about some cool packs?
Sounds like a good plan. What was your favorite pack, Tim?
My favorite combo of packs, I had to save. I haven't saved a Jumpstart deck in
I didn't know you
years.
could save.
Well, there you go. The deck name is Runaways Mayhem. It combines the Runaways, which is like a comic series, with Mayhem, which is like madness. These are two packs of pay mana, tap, discard a card, get a cool effect. What am I going to discard? A card with Mayhem, so I get to cast it for free. Ah!
Mhm.
That's the absolute favorite combo that I've had so far. Is just, do you know what I actually did with this deck? I won the first game and I was winning the second one, and I was about to win and I hit concede so that I could continue to play because I had losses left to give.
Wow. Oh, okay. Wait. We have to play Genius or Grifter. Is that Genius or Grifter?
I was like, first of all, so confident that I was going to win out. Second of all, the reward for getting 2 wins is only an uncommon.
Mhm.
Third of all, I just have to spread the glory of this deck to 2
Yeah.
more people before my run is done.
That's another great thing I felt about this jumpstart is like
Yeah.
when I'm playing somebody else and I see that they have a deck. This happened for me. Somebody else played the Scarlet deck,
Okay.
and it didn't really work. Like,
Yeah.
but I saw the vision. Like I like they
Hmm.
played the 5 mana enchantment, and they had like a 4 mana guy that like let you exile the top card and play it for free, or you could play it that turn or
Hmm.
whatever. And I saw the vision of like, okay, it's about casting 2 things and you get a free spell. And I'm like, I want to try that. So like
Hmm.
I picked my deck, and then I was like, and I kind of knew some of the cards in the deck, so
Hmm.
I could think about what deck might go well with that. So I found like a deck that I think I paired it with the Quinjet deck. So I had
Hmm.
like a mana dork in the deck, and then I had the Scarlet, so I could make a fairly good amount of mana to
Hmm.
cast my 5 mana do nothing enchantment. And I was pretty jazzed about that. And I got to do the thing at least once where I got to just play a bunch of free spells and kind of go crazy.
Oh, this card's this Runaways pack is the chase pack. It's got more than $50 worth of cards in it. The Runaway. I'm not the only one who loves the Runaways, I guess. Well, hope you open the Runaways pack if you play this in paper. Both those packs on their own, like the Mayhem half, the like discard enable, I think is in the kind of middle of the pack zone of like, here's a cool thing that you'll get to do once or twice, and you'll probably also lose 2 games. But like, if you combine it with some connive, you draw a card, discard a Mayhem card, cast that Mayhem card. With Mayhem, you get to cast it usually for a cheaper cost. So I'm looking at Sadistic Slash here, which is 4 mana, -5/-5. Uh, but it's Mayhem for 2 mana. So I get my connive off. I'd use my Runaways discard ability, something like that. And then I'm just pumping my fists. I'm having a great time.
Mhm.
Maybe the other thing that sort of helped with Jumpstart is that we got power creep. The curves are more likely to keep you alive. Like just your 2-drop is more likely to fend off the bad guys. Your 3-drop is more
Mhm.
likely to keep your 2-drop from your opponent's 2-drop from killing you. So you have a little bit more time maybe to assemble some stuff. Um, but one pack that has come up a couple times that I think would be on the border of being good or bad, but I think was just well designed is the armed pack. So this is a black equipment deck because there's kind of an equipment theme in regular Marvel Limited. If they had to compose the deck out of only cards from regular Marvel Limited, the pack would be garbage because there would not be enough cards in the main set to do this. But for whatever reason, they, wrote the check and designed an extra, 5 new cards per pack. The creature curve is just there. You just have creatures that are good enough for their size. And then you start casting some equipment. Equipment is kind of naturally good with throwaway creatures. And so you'll draw one of those, you'll get some things going with it. And it's just been good enough. Like I've had fun with it. I've done the thing with it a couple times. There's like a card that like an equipment that draws a card for each equipment you control, and then it gets +2/+2 for each equipment you control. So it's like this very fun like payoff slam at the top. I draw 2 cards, give +4/+4 to a creature. So it has a cool dream, and then all the cards kind of function, even if you don't hit that dream.
Speaking of dreams, I have to talk about the fantastic
Oh
deck, which
yeah,
is like the
yeah.
4-color deck, which was not a great experience the first time I drafted it. Turns out that if you pick that deck,
Hmm.
they don't give you a basic mountain, but they give you like 2 basic land circulars and Farseek.
Yeah.
So you have to. So the second time I picked the deck, I just made sure I just took a mountain thing. I didn't care what it
Uh,
was. I just took a mountain thing.
I heard
Um,
you talk about this, and I looked it up on Reddit and stuff. The paper packs actually do have a mountain.
thank God. I have a screenshot. There's no mountain in
Yeah.
my.
Oh, I believe
Yeah,
you. I believe you. I think it on Arena they add an extra fixing land to each pack.
which is not good because again, you need to find a basic.
Yeah,
So
it's normally a okay thing
mhm.
because you normally you've got your black and your white together, and then they add an extra land in to help you fix. But here the Arena version like deletes one of the basics, which sort of messes up the deck. Other bug
Yeah.
report, the Fantastic deck, I get offered at every event, despite it being the like 4-color ambition deck.
Have you? Well, okay. So here's the thing about it, though, is that I did not realize this when I was playing it, but
Yeah.
if you get all 4 of the uncommon Fantastic Four members,
Mm-hmm.
it actually creates an infinite combo
Hell
where,
yeah, it does.
yeah, you get to. So if you make a token, Mister Fantastic draws you a card. When you draw a card, the Human Torch deals 1 damage.
When you deal
Uh,
damage, the thing
the thing
grows.
gets
When
a
something
counter.
grows, yeah.
And then when something gets a counter on it, Mrs. Fantastic makes a 0/4 token, which lets you draw a card and keep going.
Yeah.
So I just dropped that on someone totally by accident, just because I
Ah.
happened to. Again, you have card draw, and so I got to see all the cards, and they didn't kill my people.
Mhm.
Um, so I got to do that, and that was probably the coolest thing I got to do. That was probably the biggest, flashiest thing I got to do. I don't know. There was a lot of. I really liked the returned deck
Oh, okay.
because that deck's like all based around cards leaving the graveyard.
Hmm.
I think I played that with the counter argument deck, which actually was pretty good because it had a bunch of small creatures, and then the way things left the graveyard was
Hmm.
it would be like reanimate something with mana value 3 or less, and or like exile 2 cards from your graveyard, and you get to bring back a creature or something. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, the key card was the Grim Reaper's Scythe. So it was
Hmm.
whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, you get a 2/2 black zombie, and then 3 black tap, sacrifice 2 creatures, return target creature card from your
Hmm.
graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. And then they had like a reassembling skeleton kind of dude that was
Yeah.
like 3 mana, he returns to your hand. And then they had the Infernal Rebirth, which returned 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, and then 2 Evil to Stay
Hmm.
Dead, which reanimates something with mana value 4 or less. So that was
Yeah.
super fun. It wasn't one big reanimation, it was just like moving stuff in and out of your graveyard a bunch, which is, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's got a soft spot in my heart.
That one was one of the ones that like kind of fizzled for me. I've played it a couple times trying to get it to work. And
Oh no.
when you get stuck with the reanimates in your hand and not a lot of fodder, you're out of luck.
Yeah, it was so weird. So I got it with Counter Argument, which is like the attorney
Sure.
themed deck.
Yeah.
I wonder if it had a lot of creatures. Maybe it just worked out for me. Political
Yeah.
Triumph, by the way, is like one of the coolest cards in the set for me. I love that card.
The 1 mana plan.
Yeah, at ETB, you scry and put a plan counter, and then the 4th one,
Hmm.
everybody gets a counter and you draw a card.
I think the plans in general kind of fizzled out in regular draft, but I think the plans are like a good fit for one of your like 3 or 4 non-creatures in a jumpstart pack. It's an
Yeah,
ambitious thing to do. It's going to take a little bit to fire off. Everything in the pack can advance it, and maybe a third of the things in the other pack can advance it. And then you have something to like an ambitious thing to shoot for.
it's funny. Counter Argument and Returned, I don't think were necessarily 2 packs. So those are like 2 packs I feel like that are kind of just like
Yeah.
not super high synergy. They're just normal
They're not
creatures
friends.
and stuff, and they them both just being baseline enough kind of make them both work without either one like shooting off into space. I guess the
Yeah.
counter argument has like some counter synergy, +1/+1 counter synergies, which are fine, but it didn't go crazy, and then the reanimation just kind of helped support that a little bit. Kind of interesting. Both mid packs, and together they made something pretty decent.
I remember when we were doing the Castmeyer packs, we were under extra duress with Castmeyer because we did not even have a full set yet. And we were trying to make Jumpstart packs out of the 180 cards that we had so far. And that's where I think you're just stuck making too many concessions. And like the packs don't like when your lawyer pack and your reanimator pack that aren't synergistic. Like if those cards are just a little bit worse, you might not have a lot of fun playing Magic the Gathering because you don't have synergy and also half your cards are bad.
Like the only card in the lawyers pack that just makes 0 sense is City Pigeon, which is just when it leaves the battlefield you create a food token. Which is just like I guess it's a flyer that you can put counters on, but it doesn't really make sense. But almost every other card just says +1/+1 counter, or there's a removal spell. That's kind of what you want from your Jumpstart pack, right? Is like this is the +1/+1 counters pack. They all the cards kind of do that thing. They put +1/+1 counters on something. So I'm most likely going to do the thing, the call of the pack, if you will.
There's power up that puts counters on things, so you might have some chances to get stuff there. Oh, any of your creatures with counters on them get vigilance or whatever. Yeah, you can potentially interface with other packs.
Yeah,
I think there are plenty of packs basically like that counter argument pack. These are kind of fun cards thematically. It's like a whole lawyer pack.
Yeah, very funny
For
pack,
some reason, lawyers are all about +1/+1 counters. Yeah, that's maybe more charm than you'd normally be allowed to get in a Jumpstart pack. like here's a theme that you absolutely did not know you were capable of opening. I think a lot of the Marvel ones are like that, and some of these are like, even though I've read a million Marvel comics, and I still did not know some of these characters. One of which was the Great Lakes Avengers.
Yes, what the hell?
I have been aware of the Great Lakes Avengers, but I've never read them. But this had some all-timer cards that I've never heard of. The headliner is Squirrel Girl, who's now become famous. Like she's like a character that people have heard of. But it has maybe the most powerful 2-card combo in the Jumpstart packs that I've seen. Maybe there's another one out there. The self-contained combo. And this is the combination between Doorman and Flatman.
Yeah.
Doorman is a we talk about power creep. 1 and a green 2/3, so you're already gonna keep up to speed if you just have your 2 mana 2/3. But he has tap until end of turn. Target creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less and/or walls. So you get past walls, high power walls, or low power anything, which is a fine card. It's certainly useful in a variety of circumstances. There's plenty, finish a game off. But he combines with Flatman, who is 3 and a green for a 1/10, 1 power, 10 toughness. And then he has a power called Origami Fu. 2 and a green, switch Flatman's power and toughness until end of turn. You can do the old Rise of the Eldrazi trick of targeting a low power creature, then pumping its power after combat. But here Flatman does it himself, and he hits for 10. And I did this a couple times, and I was definitely pumping my fist.
Hidden appreciation for these Jumpstart packs is that there's now just a bunch of very dumb legendary creatures to have as your commander. Like Doorman is like
all-timer. It's a mediocre card, for
commander. And I can just slam it as my commander and be like, my whole deck is about not being blocked by small creatures or walls.
Yeah. You can be confident that if you build the Doorman deck, you will never meet another person on this planet who's also playing the Doorman deck.
Mm-hmm.
The Doorman art even depicts Flatman getting teleported, I guess. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, that is... I did not understand what was happening in that art initially. Yeah. But that's definitely what's happening.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to build a Doorman deck, and then the requirement was every car has to have a door somewhere in it, so like you can play a fun game. Find the door in all of my cards, including the basics. Yeah, every forest has to have a door.
You're ruined now, huh? I think the last of the highlight packs for me was the Doom pack. So Dr. Doom is a famous character in Marvel. He's in the movie that's coming later this year, is it? Doomsday? And there's a Doom pack, and there's like a very desirable Commander Doom card, Dr. Doom Unrivaled, who's like a Thassa's Oracle. Hey, if you do something with the empty library, cool. So it's kind of like a desirable Commander card for, doing nonsense stuff. But One of the funny things about some of these is that they like gave new art to cards. That includes a dark ritual with Doctor Doom on it, which I feel like has a sort of like appeal to it, or you'd be happy to open that on its own. And then there's a bunch of like Doom Harbinger, because Doom has a bunch of robot clones of himself. But then it also has a card Doomsday. And Doomsday is like a very funny card to have in Jumpstart because Doomsday is like a think really hard cube card that even cube players have a hard time making work. But there's a movie called Doomsday coming. So if we have a card called if we have a card existing in Magic called Doomsday and we can conceivably put it in a pack, we have to do it. And that really made me laugh when I drew Doomsday in a Jumpstart game. Like that was a truly memorable Jumpstart thing for me. I cast it. I did not win the game, but it was very funny to see that.
Sorry, I'm just really focused on Doomfall, which is a card I'd forgotten about, but played a ton of in Hour of Devastation. Like constructed standard
Oh, that's
Hour
a
of
reprint?
Devastation.
Oh.
Yeah, Doomfall's a reprint.
Oh, I recognize that card now, yeah.
Yeah. It just I'm like, Doomfall, why do I remember that name?
When I saw that in the pack, I'm like, oh, okay, they made a removal spell for this. That's cool. But no, it's a reprint. Funny.
You want to talk about some packs that maybe didn't hit as well?
Yeah.
Some misses?
I think one of the main ones, and I think that this is a lesson that we just have to learn with Jumpstart packs. One of the packs that I think is just structurally unsound is the Precise pack. You got Hawkeye being an archer, and then this is basically heroic. When you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, blah, 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 get a counter, stun a thing, whatever else. And this pack fails in multiple ways, I would say. One of which is that, so you have multiple cards that say, when you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, the rare in the pack and then 2 or 3 of the other creatures in the pack have this text on them. It's kind of unlikely that another pack will even have one card in its pack that can work with this. You're relying on the pack itself to bring the synergy because other packs will not be able to help it. But there are only 3 spells in the pack that can do that. So the main thing in the pack, I would say, almost gave up on functioning as a pack. I think the other part of it is that the payoffs for doing it, even if you had another pack that worked with it, let's say you had 6 cards that target your creatures, like you just really lucked out, the payoffs are stinky too. Hawkeye just gets a little bit bigger in scries. Like, that's your rare? That's like a boring uncommon.
I'm going to bounce off of that one and talk about Geniuses for a second.
Okay.
So Geniuses, I think, is landing on the other side of the Doom category, where it's like an extraordinarily goofy thing to do. The rare in the Geniuses pack is Reed Richards, who has reach. You have no maximum hand size, and the first time you would draw a card on each of your turns, except the first card you draw 4 cards instead. But like once you do that twice, you're suddenly in the mode of I don't ever want to draw another card ever again. Because you only have a 40 card deck. I mean, it was funny for me to play once, but then it was kind of like, I actually don't ever want to draw Reed Richards again. I don't really want to do this again because it would be more fun, I think, but also far too easy if there was some sort of win con. So maybe the Geniuses and Doom deck are designed to be together, forever.
I think maybe the last one for me is the Uncanny pack, which is Uncanny X-Men, the X-Men pack. And this was such like a disappointment to me because, it has to be a monocolored pack, so they have to pick X-Men characters that are green. But you're naming it after like the whole team. And the other part is the cards all stink. Because we're going to get an X-Men set someday. Save the juice for that. Don't try to make the Uncanny pack to please me only to make all the cards stinky. Like the Wolverine doesn't even regenerate. He just like has a bunch of power. He like has no Wolverine powers.
Did you get to play Wolverine at all? I mean, the buffing your mutants seems like it could be fun, maybe. But then it just buffs their power, so they all die anyway as soon as they get blocked. So like you don't win a board stall.
Yeah. Like it has 2 characters whose main 4 characters whose main character or power traits are that they are unkillable. And then only one of them has even an attempt at, expressing that. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I'm not seeing the juice. I'm not seeing the fun end result of this. I'm seeing you play a bunch of bad creatures, you attack, and then they all die.
Alrighty, yeah. I think I have a little bit more understanding of what Jumpstart packs need to do. They have to have some promise that is cool within themselves. It's nice if your format has some overall mechanics that are pretty good at interfacing with between themselves. I think Connive is the star here. What else do we need in a Jumpstart pack?
If you're not going to have some juicy payoff, you need it to be a really solid baseline. You want some of your packs to be kind of these like dreams, and then you need a lot of probably workman like packs that are just like you're going to get cards, and those cards are going to do things, and those cards are going to do things that probably help you actually
Yeah.
play an interesting game. I think card filtering is my big takeaway. I mean, slam at least one card filtering thing in each pack, and that just helps people get to the cool cards.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think there's a skeleton to be found from this Marvel Jumpstart pack about the types of cards you're looking at, the power of those cards, the curves of each pack. I think you could actually probably reverse engineer something similar to a set skeleton for Jumpstart packs and hopefully create something fun. I mean, through testing, feel like you could kind of land on things that maybe work, land on things that can be even enhanced from the Marvel, and land on things that just don't work and aren't a key takeaway.
Plus, this Jumpstart added a second Riley to to Magic Cannon. We already got Ben Riley in the Spider-Man set. Now we got Maybell as well. Double the Rileys in Magic.
Oh, looky there. Sorry, I was looking it up. 2 L's, of course.
Yeah, it's spelled my way too, which is great for me. Alrighty, yeah. I'm enthusiastic about any kind of weird format we can talk about. I feel like we demonstrated why this Marvel Jumpstart's cool. I'm glad that people can listen to this episode, get a couple months from now, and at least get a flavor for what's cool about this format and what we should do at Jumpstart. But before we get out of here, I want to tell people about our design challenge. This you got a little bit more time. You got like a week and a half to get this in. This is Incarnation Day. Design an incarnation that could be part of a cycle. An incarnation, this is just a creature type that's been in Magic. Most of them work roughly the same way, which is that they are like a rare cycle of creatures, all of which have some sort of simple naming theme. So there were like a bunch of character traits: purity, valor, brawn, anger, But some of them, now that we've seen more of these, some of them are a little bit more obscure: impulsivity, jubilation, hostility. And part of the challenge here is that you should imply that your card would be part of a cycle. You don't have to tell us what the rest of the cycle is, but we could imagine that you would do this with 4 other cards. You could even take the place of a card in an existing cycle. But yeah, that's the part that you have to give us. That's the main thing. Have you worked on your incarnation yet? Have you submitted your incarnation?
Yeah, I've submitted something just to get it in there, but I'm still working on it. I still might want to change it, but
Alrighty.
I had an idea kind of hit my head for the art, and then so I started working and messing with the art. So I submitted my own. I had a photograph that I remembered, and then I messed with it to try. One of my like goals is to eventually get to the point where I can play around with photographs to the point where they don't look. You know how like a photorealistic image looks strange on a Magic card.
Okay.
I've been trying to play around with that using the softwares that I have to make
Yeah.
a photorealistic image look not so weird on a Magic card, which involves basically make like kind of reversing it so it doesn't look as sharp and it doesn't look as crystal clear as the image. So that's what I kind of played around with this week, which is not great for an audio podcast at all. But if you're in the Discord, you can go look at it and then tell me if you like it or tell me if you think it's weird. I don't know. Actually, don't tell me if you think it's weird. Only tell me if you like it.
Hell yeah. As usual with our design challenges, we've got some bonus points. Incoronation. So we got incarnation, incoronation. It's printable in like a Foundations-like format. So Foundations 2, Foundations Jumpstart. Foundations, this is kind of the new model for the core sets. These are cards that are kind of like appealing, fun, but maybe don't include like a really specific mechanic, like web slinging or something like that, like something that you would typically only see in a specific set, time travel. We have 5 more bonus points, but the 2 long to get into on this pod. We're already going long enough. They're all about the name of of your incarnation. So if you'd like to shoot for one of those, hop on the Discord. The full list is there. A million ideas are there. And that'll be due July 31st. So that's about it for our podcast for the week. Like we've been saying, hop on the Discord. That's where all the cool stuff is. We're in yet another preview season for Hobbit. Hobbit's got some cool mechanics. I'm liking this hone counter, but I'm sure we'll see even more. So hop in and talk through all the previews. There's so many things to talk about. The planar cube draft, I'm sure, will be the topic of many podcasts in the future. And thank you, MDub, for coming on. You got a movie rec? You got one for us?
Well, so I'm going to see Odyssey this weekend at I'm doing the 70 millimeter IMAX in Indianapolis. So giant, huge, and I'm in the second row.
So we truly recorded this podcast a week too early. Me before I got a chance to test out Jumpstart on some newbies, and you before you watched a movie that you'd like to recommend people probably.
Yes, yeah. So it's not a recommendation. I'm just really more excited.
Preparation, yeah.
I
I have no idea what it's going to look like, feel like. I haven't watched any trailers, anything like that. I've seen most of the Christopher Nolan movies.
I've only seen the previews for it from the World Cup. Like the World Cup had an Odyssey preview.
Oh, okay.
Time they went to
How was the
commercial.
World Cup? Were you satisfied by how things went?
Yeah, so very happy that Spain won. I think Spain were deserving champions. Really disappointed with both the U.S. losing to Belgium kind of in humiliating fashion. Somewhat deservedly, too, I think.
Not a fluke, just bad.
Yeah, they lost deservingly, and I think there was some questionable things happening with one of the U.S. national team players that need to. The World Cup is not supposed to be a political instrument, and I think it's been pushed that it should be distinct from your government body. Your football organization should be distinct from your governing body, and I think that separation was blended in an unhealthy way during the World Cup, and it's kind of disappointing. And I think that the U.S. had a real chance to make an impact on the nation as far as soccer goes, and I think they kind of blew it with that loss to Belgium. So try again in 4 more years, I guess. And then rip Messi too. Not rip as like he's fine, but like this is like his last. This is his last World Cup.
Okay. If you want to talk World Cup or the Odyssey, Discord is the place to find us. And most of all, everybody, thank you so much for listening.